So when I look at it, I think, at a very broad base, there is obviously a opportunity for more brands to be present in this market. Whether they're going to be coming from international or domestic will depend largely on the fact of whether they're going to be able to serve the customer need. And the customer need in India, because we're very value-driven customers, is also significantly focused on price. So whether they will be actually able to serve that particular customer need at the price that the customer can afford. And I think that's what is likely to happen. Well, I don't think so, because when we look at retail spaces are for shopping, entertainment, and food. So when you look at e-commerce plays no role currently in entertainment and food. The only areas that they overlap is in terms of shopping. And the only places that e-commerce overlaps in shopping are with those brands which are available online and available at a price significantly lower than what you can get it in the store. So when you really look at, when you distill it down to that, what you do find is that if you look at shopping being, say, 100, of that 100, there's probably 20 or 30 of that 100 which has an overlap with e-commerce because they're operating in the same category that e-commerce operates in, and e-commerce is able to offer a better price because which customers are probably not wanting to buy in the store. So e-commerce is, to that extent, I don't think it's got a direct impact on malls. It'll have, but not to the extent that all of us believe that malls will suddenly get deserted and people will start leaving malls and, malls will have to close down. I don't think any of that stuff is going to happen, even if e-commerce is around. I think it is an important requirement for every physical store to make sure that they actually are an omni-channel retailer. Why has e-commerce actually, become strong? E-commerce has become strong because if you look at the largest of Indian retailers, they're not present in more than 200 cities. And these 200 cities are actually less than 5% of the 4,500 cities and towns that India has. Forget the 6 lakh odd villages that India has. So what happens here is that if somebody in beyond the 200 city wants a brand, today they have two options. One option is that they can go online and order. And the second option that they have is go to the nearest town where they have an offline retailer and buy from them. To that extent, I think what online is able to do is to be able to supplement the distribution that offline retailers have. And if an offline retailer really wants to compete, what they have to do is to make sure that they also have an online presence. And the simplest thing that offline retailers should do is that they should leverage the fact that they've got stores and they also have an online presence. Because online players only have an online presence, they don't have stores. So it's much easier for an offline retailer to become omni-channel and thereby, I think, compete effectively with an online player.